So today's video is all about my favourite fruit. So let me show you how to do this wobbly pineapple inside the Cinema 4D. Right, let's make a pulsating purple pineapple thing using MoGraph technology. Okay, so this is a nice technique. So let's start, and we start with a sphere, and we put in 24 segments, and we change the type to a hexahedron, so we get all the squares. All right, we now hold the shift key down, go to MoGraph, and choose MoExtrude. Okay, when we're on MoExtrude, go to Object, and the extrusion steps, we want 1, and under Transform, we want to zero out the Z, and then on the scale, we want 0.1. We'll just type in 0.1, so we get that. Right, we now need to go back to MoGraph and grab a random effector. Okay, and that gives you this strange kind of furry bunch of bananas. That's not what we want today. We're doing more of a pineapple, aren't we, than bananas? So we click on random, and then let's have a look through. Right, so we start with effector, and then we zero out the minimum, so take away the minus, so we just have a 0 in there. We change the random mode to turbulence, and then we change the animation speed to about 30% and the scale 30%. On parameter, we need to zero out the X and the Y and increase the Z to 100. And then we need to go to fields and add a spherical field. Okay, so as you move this around, look, it's affecting just the areas where that field is. So if we move that over to roughly over to here, what I need to do now is I want to deform this part of it as well, this sphere here. Okay, so when this plays, look, you've got movement going on there, but nothing's happening here. So the way we do that is if we copy the random effector here, that'll make a copy of it. And what we need to do here is we need to put that as a child of the sphere, like that. And then when you're on random, we need to go to deformer and change that to polygon. And we now need to go to parameter on the Z here where we've got 100, and then we need to change that to about -60. And the effector, I believe, is okay. The fields, right, so the fields we need to invert where it says here, that where it says strength 100 and then invert, you need to click on that, because what that's done is it's not inflated the sphere, it's deflating it. Okay, so it's just an inversion of what it had before. So that's the kind of look you're after at this stage, where it looks a little bit like a squashed pineapple, doesn't it, or a raspberry or something. So you're looking for that kind of look. What we want to do now is we want the both random effectors to move at the same time. We want to connect them together. So a way I've found of doing that is if you click on random, right click, go to programming tags and choose Espresso. Now I know people go, oh my god, it's Espresso. It's literally, we're going to drag the random effector there and the other random effector there, and then we're going to click on the red on this one. We're going to choose global matrix. We're going to click on the little circle there where it says global matrix. Keep your finger down, and then drag the wire out to the blue, let go, and then click global matrix, and it's connected it up. So that's it. So you can just press close on the X. That is the only espresso we need in this effect. Okay, if we just click on the first one, the random one that has the espresso on it, we can then go to these handles here, and then we can move it about, and they will both be moving around together, right? So that's what that was for. Now the next step is we want to do something with this, the look of these. Okay, they're a little bit low poly, and it's not going to render very well So we need to make a high-res version of this this sphere, because at the moment we've only got these planes and there's not really any geometry here, so it's not going to look as good. So what we do is we take the sphere and we copy it and we get rid of the effectors on there. Okay, so we've just got the two spheres. We're now going to use another effector here called mesh. Okay, and we're going to drop the mesh under that second sphere, and we're going to times the segments by 10. Right, so we're going to put a 0 on the end, so we've got 240 segments now. That's a much tighter mesh, so this will be the high-res version. Now what we do is we click, well, what we do first is actually we turn off the two random effectors, right, and then we click on mesh and we drop the low poly sphere, the one that's only 24 segments. We drop that. If we go on to object on mesh, we drop the low poly sphere into there where it says cages and let go. Once you've let go, click on initialize, and then that's now saying in the memory there is 3.96 meg. Okay, so there needs to be something happen at this point. There needs to be something logged into the memory. Right, so now that's done that, if we turn these back on and just have a look, it's not actually connected the two together because it's got a little bit confused, I think, with what we've just done. So what we have to do is use a connect object to connect these up. So if you click on the first sphere and then you hold Alt down, and then we want to go on this first one and then go to this connect and then let go. Okay, that will now connect the sphere correctly to the high-res one. So what we do now, we have to make a little change to the mesh that we've done. So we click on mesh where we've got sphere, and we're actually going to add the connect object in there instead. Okay, so we drop that in and then we delete the old one, so we've got the new one. Now, like we did before, we need to turn off the two random effectors. Okay, and then we need to re-initialize this with the connect object, and you should see an increase in the memory from 3.96 because this is working on these high-res ones now. So if we click initialize, it's now jumped up to 7.96 meg. Okay, so as long as that jumps up, you know it's done it properly. Right, the other thing we need to change on here is this external bit here in advanced where it says ignore. We actually need to say surface, so you click on that, and now we turn the random effectors back on. Right, so now you can see that all of these have now got geometry on them. Okay, and we can make that even better by putting, if we click on the high-res sphere and then we press Alt on the keyboard and click on the subdivision surface, look at that. That has added really, really nice geometry to the whole thing. So we've got a much nicer and quicker, because of the way we've linked it to that mesh object, a much quicker way of this running. Okay, so if I just show you, it may be a little bit slow at this point because the mesh, it won't be when it renders, it'll be absolutely fine. But if we just take that down in the editor just for this example. Okay, so what we've got is this nice high poly version moving here, but what we haven't done, we need to have this moving around to give us the effect we want. We don't want to be just moving this around like this manually. We need to actually make this move around and then we can render it. So the way I do that, rather than keyframe all of those movements, is if you right click on random and you add a vibrate tag. Under the vibrate tag, click on position, enable position, and then let's put something like 500 in there, 200 in there. We don't need to worry about the other one because it's moving only in two planes. And then let's bring the frequency down to about 0.1, so it's not going really, really fast. And then on the rotation, we can just put only on the first two again. It's not going to matter about the other one really. And then again, maybe 0.2. So what will happen now is our random fields that are now connected together are going to automatically, with the vibrate tag, move around the screen, affecting this blob. Now I've just noticed something. We've only got 90 frames, so let's increase that to about 500, so we've got a much bigger timeline for it to work on. And also, if we just move this over to the middle and then play from here, it will be kind of near where it needs to be when it's doing its vibrate tag. So all that vibrate tag is doing is just moving that around without you having to keyframe the pattern in. Okay, you can keyframe it in if you want your own timeline, but I've just found the vibrate tag a much easier way of doing it. And then it will just keep moving around like this. So if we have a look at adding a texture to this now, a material, what I would add is, let's go for something like a bit of a purple, because it is a pulsating purple pineapple at the end of the day, so we need to use purple. Now the thing I would do is just right click and copy that colour, and now let's add a luminance channel, and on the texture, click on texture here, go to effects, and then click on subsurface scattering. Okay, click on that tag on this little bar here where it says it, and then colour, let's right click and paste in that colour. On the path length, is bring that down to about 2, and then we can get some kind of two-tone effects going on here. If we lift the blue up, you see on here, look, where you've got the purple and you've got the blue down at the bottom. If we do that, we can add this colour. Now we've just got to make sure we've got, we'll have lights added in a second. So if we drop that onto the subdivision surface, so it changes, let's come out of lines, go out shading lines and go to normal, go out shading. Okay, and now let's turn off the display tags as well. I don't know if we don't actually need these. Let's just get rid of those. Then it will give us our colours. Oh, that's interesting. Right, so we need to add that to the sphere, I believe. Is it the sphere? Or do we add it to the other sphere? Oh, interesting. Let's add it to both. Well, mate, no, we can turn off the connect. We can turn off the connect. Okay, so let's just see. Yeah, you turn off the connect. Sorry, forgot that bit. once it's all connected, you turn that one off. Then we're just adding in the colour and everything to the high-res sphere now, aren't we? Okay, so we have that. Now we need to add a light. So if I add just an infinite light, just spin it over, so it's so it shadows at the bottom, so the light's pointing down. Let's put an area shadow on that, and also I like to put in a background object. Now let's just do a quick render of that, because the colours that are coming out here, I want to grab one of those colours. Right, let's render that again. I want to grab one of those colours for my background. Okay, so if you render it when you've got background selected, you can then take this eyedropper tool and you can pick your colour from here. Okay, and that's put that in the background. So if we render it again, it will use that colour as our background colour. Okay, now you can obviously choose whatever colour you like for these, but I thought that's just quite a nice way of getting the background shading to match the shade, and then you've got another colour on top. So that's what's happening with the subsurface shading. You're getting these two tones of blue and purples mixed in. Really nice effect. Look, with the light we can add a bit more reflectance in here, like a Beckman, and add a little bit of shine to this. See how that looks on the render. So you can just play around with the materials afterwards really, but obviously the more you do like this, look, the more reflections you add, the slower it is. Yeah, so that's going to take a little while, isn't it? Yeah, let's take that out for now, just so we can have this running a little bit quicker. Okay, let's take reflectance off. So really all I wanted to show you here is that's how you set it up. The vibrate tag is how it moves it around, and then that's random really. So you can say, right, if I want that to be a bigger movement, you go to vibrate tag, and where it says 500, if you put in 1,000 just there, it will move across the scene in a bigger space, if you know what I mean. It will be 1,000 across rather than 4. So let me just show you rather than trying to explain it. So basically it will go across, but it will keep going past it, and it will be quite random, but it will probably come off it completely, and then it will go back on it. So you'll get this kind of very like organic but mechanical thing going on at the same time. So if I just stop that there and then render it there, you'll just see the kind of look it's got at that point. And then if we went back to here and rendered there, you see that obviously all the pieces they're all jotting out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Bit different, bit of a nice effect. If you did, please like the mic, and then the channel will grow, and then I'll do more of these videos. Okay, my name is Mike German from Visual Animations. Take care. Goodbye for now.